Mic test 1 2. Alright, so I'm trying something completely different. Let's move this here. Trying something completely different. I'm going to debunk this theologist that says he's not a Christian, but then kind of explains, basically describes Gnosticism, and we're just gonna break it down as we go. So let's start with the first timestamp.
I'm not a Christian. Stop calling me a Christian. I'm a savior. I basically believe in a metaphysical, mathematical mastermind that is the construct of reality.
So right there, that's the demiurge. That's not metaphysical. So let's see here. Uses Christian heresy metaphors, Gnostic, demiurge, savior. That's Christian. What he's describing is Christian heresy, whatever, Gnosticism. It's the demiurge, which is a literal architect. If you were to look up Wikipedia for Gnosticism, you would see the demiurge is an architect, is a metaphysical architect. He's a mastermind, a construct that keeps souls trapped in their bodies, their souls imprisoned. This is in The Matrix, the architect, which is what they got the idea from. The Matrix uses Gnostic archetypes. So right there, that is Christianity. Gnosticism is a sect, a branch off of Christianity, so it is Christian, so it's not too far off base to call him a Christian. Atheism is stupid. Anti-atheism misrepresents atheism as no meaning, no mind, which is a straw man. In reality, the universe is a mind. That's esoteric idealism, and psychism presents as rational fact, not metaphysical claim. He identifies as I am a savior, claims saviorhood, which is self-deification, a mythic / Gnostic archetype contradicting rational argument. Suggests he has proof later, but no empirical method. He has no empirical method to prove that he has proof. Like, he can't prove it. Epistemic bluffing, misuses proof like radical club. So he says, oh yeah, I have proof, but then it's just him saying that he thinks he has proof. He doesn't actually have proof. So he calls himself Lucifer and Savior. That's literal theology, not logic. Atheism is stupid, but never defines atheism properly. Misrepresents it as believing in nothing. Ignores real atheism, which is the rejection of deity claims due to lack of evidence, which he doesn't have. He doesn't have evidence. Universe is a mind that tries to hold moral high ground. This is a faith claim dressed up as pseudo-logic. It is metaphysics, not reasoned argument. I have proof, but everything says he is unfalsifiable. And if it's unfalsifiable, that means it's false, basically. It's you don't even count it. It's a negative. Metaphysical mastermind is not testable. I'm a savior is a mythic identity. Christian sort of theology. The universe is information, which is just vague new age simulation bullshit. The universe is information. Okay. And that doesn't prove anything. So, performative debate baits rational thinkers with absurdities but refuses to define terms. He says, atheism is stupid, changed my mind, but then he later says that he doesn't debate, that he doesn't talk. Gnostic tropes, uses Lucifer, savior, and architect imagery while denying religion. Anti-atheist strawman misrepresents atheism as nihilistic, stupid, and emotional. Uses terms like proof without evidence, projects rationality into atheists. Exploits confusion, makes spiritual claims, spiritual terms with tech bro logic. The universe is code to sound smart. Basically an NPC. If you want to mock atheism, but you're preaching metaphysics, mysticism with no method. You say you're not Christian, but you literally describe a demiurge. That's Christian heresy. You call yourself a savior, but deny you're in a religion. That's not logic. That's myth with a mask. You're not exposing atheism. You're exposing your misunderstanding of both atheism and metaphysics. Dude has no idea what he's talking about.
The totality of reality as information. pretty much atheism, but the universe is a mind.
Okay, so what created that mind? Where's your proof? What created the thing that created everything?
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. If you are a Christian and find atheists stupid, while God says to treat everyone as their friends, was that a question or a statement? I don't know what that was, but I'm not a Christian. Why are you afraid of having a conversation? I'm just going to block you soon enough. I don't really have conversations. I already mentioned this.
So he doesn't have conversations, but he says to change his mind. This is typical bot behavior, NPC behavior.
Rage bait? Not really. This gives flat earth energy. That's because you're a moron. Charlie Kirk. What about him? Why? What is the real proof of a god? I actually think I do have evidence. Maybe proof. We'll have to see.
Maybe proof. We'll have to see. He doesn't. Spoiler check. He doesn't have proof. He just says that. He just makes all these claims with no, like, proof or reasoning or logic behind it.
Hold on 1 second. Almost set up on YouTube.
Let's go back, actually.
Second. Proof. Real proof. I'm just going to block you soon enough. I don't really have
Right here, I don't have conversations.
But I'm not a Christian. Why are you afraid of having a conversation?
Right here, create, take timestamp. Insert. Add row above. Paste this. Now, if I click that, it goes right to the
I'm just going to block you.
So anytime I click a link, it goes at timestamp. It goes to the video, the recorded live stream or whatever. So right here, quote. I don't really have conversations. Then his mind can't be changed and is highly irrational. Check my browser. Let's see here. More one adjustment using primary and one to stream primary adjustment, one to stream. Check Twitch. Twitch working? Okay. Let's see here. What was I doing? Doesn't really have conversations. Okay.
Soon enough. I don't really have conversations. I already mentioned this. Rage bait? Not really.
Yeah,
this gives flat earth energy. That's because you're a moron. Charlie Kirk. What about him? Why? What is the real proof of a god? I actually think I do have evidence. Maybe proof. We'll have to see. Hold on 1 second. Almost set up on YouTube. Oh, my fucking back.
Oh, please. Like he has a bad back.
Okay, let's see. What is the real proof of God? For real. Is stupid because you disagree is a dangerous argument? That's not my argument, by the way.
It is your argument. I refuse to have a conversation. Well, then you're not open-minded.
I don't think that's even an argument.
It is an argument. If you refuse conversation, then it's an argument. It's a one-way dialogue.
So it's just atheism with extra steps? No, it's it's different steps,
That make no sense.
which makes it not atheism. Invite me up, please. Possibly. They believe
Extra steps, which is not atheism. Take timestamp.
it's different steps, which makes it not atheism. Invite me up, please. Possibly. They believe life comes from no life. Yeah, that's actually a very, very...
No, that's true. That is what he's claiming, because what created the thing that created your god or whatever? This metaphysical architect, the demiurge. What created the demiurge? What created the thing that created everything? Yeah, it's difficult to prove because you can't prove it. So he's saying, I'm not going to take that position because I can't prove it. So he's only taking positions that he can prove, which are none. He can't prove anything. It's all bad faith.
very difficult position. They believe life comes from...
Okay, let's see here. Timestamp.
From no life? Yeah, that's actually a very, very difficult position to take. You can't be serious, can you? I definitely can be.
But he's not. He can be serious, but he's not. That's what he's saying. He can be serious, but he's not serious. So he's saying right off the bat that he's not serious. This is typical bad faith behavior.
Hi, what are your thoughts? You can't be serious.
Let's see here. Timestamp.
Can you? I definitely can be. Hi, what are your thoughts on abortion? I'm completely fine with eugenics, by the way. But the sexual revolution type of abortion is...
Whoa! Dude said the Nazi part out loud. He's for eugenics. What? Someone asked him about abortion and he went to eugenics. Holy shit, red flag.
No,
An actual Nazi, a literal Nazi, yeah. An actual fucking Nazi. Nazi burns.
eugenics, by the way. But the sexual revolution type of abortion is a little bit odd. It just seems a little maybe destructive as opposed to
Actually, I would argue that it's more productive for more abortions because there's an overpopulation. And when you have kids that need homes and need to be adopted, people should be adopting, not committing abortion. Or not having more kids. They should be having abortions and adopting kids. There you go. More abortions, more adoptions. It's logical. You have complete say over a zygote.
it just seems a little maybe destructive as opposed to productive. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Okay. We'll see if that disappears soon. Can you answer the question then? What question? You have to ask it again. So what is your argument? It would take me probably a few hours.
It would take him a few hours to explain his point. Oh my god. He literally says pantheism later on. So he literally counters himself. So he says it would take a few hours to explain my point, but then later he sums it up with panentheism.
To explain.
He's arguing against himself. Like, he doesn't even realize he's arguing against himself.
My argument is pretty much, how do I put this? What is going on YouTube? If you're on YouTube, can you see this video? Comment down below.
He's just padding time.
What the hell? Okay. Alright, it might be working now.
It's not that hard. You just open it up in a private tab.
Okay, I think it's working now. Alright. So what's your argument? Basically, it's almost like reverse engineering existence.
Reverse engineering existence. Okay, so then what created the thing that created everything? There you go. Like, I just summed up his 2-hour video. What created the thing that created everything? Like, what's the origin? So, and to do that, you need to first start with science. You need to start with what is tested and verifiable. You would have to start with like evolution and then go backwards, like all the way back, like to the Big Bang. So like, what created the Big Bang? And then, well, that created the Big Bang. Then what created that thing? What created the thing that created the everything? What created the thing that created the thing that gave evolution? That's basically how you debunk every theological argument, is what created the thing that created everything. It literally solves everything.
And so what's your argument? Basically,
Reverse engineering existence. And it leads to a living being. What created this living being? What created this living being? Yeah, what created this living being that you can't prove exists?
it's almost like reverse engineering existence, and it leads to a living being. It would take me hours to explain. Why can't I have my own belief? You can, but it would probably be wrong, so...
Typical fucking fascist behavior. What the fuck did he just say?
Why can't I
Why can't I have my own belief? So people can't have their own beliefs, but you can have a belief. Your idea of reverse engineering existence, a metaphysical demiurge that keeps everyone falsely imprisoned in reality, that's not a wild, outrageous belief. That's a stupid belief.
have my own belief? You can, but...
So he can't prove it's wrong, so he just says, oh, it's probably wrong, right? Oh, it's just probably wrong. Well, you're probably wrong. You're definitely wrong.
But it would probably be wrong, so... Bro, just glossing over my question, or...
Yep. This is definition of bad faith. This is a good bad faith study. Like, if you want to learn bad faith, just study this NPC. If you want to learn bad faith, just easy.
Alright. Are you religious? In a way. I don't really have a dogmatic religion. What the hell?
He doesn't have a dogmatic religion, but he describes a metaphysical archetype an architect that controls everything and everyone. That's a dictator, a tyrant. That's like dogmatic by definition, and it's an offshoot of Christianity. That's by definition dogmatic.
Are you religious? In a way.
I'm gonna get a ton of content from this. From my vault. In a way. So, an answer that's not an answer, right? That's like asking a question with a question. That's like answering a question with a question, right? It's just loops right back in the circle.
Okay, I don't really have a dogmatic.
He doesn't have a dogmatic religion, but he calls himself Lucifer. So you're calling yourself something that's from Christian theology, but you don't believe in like a dogmatic. You don't really have a dogmatic religion.
Religion. What the hell is happening?
YouTube's probably censoring you for fucking speaking about eugenics and shit. Fucking Nazi. Identifies as Lucifer, which is dogmatic by definition.
On YouTube. Proof of God. Yeah, oh my god. I'm here to see proof of the godless world. I'm all for an opinion.
Wow, so he just loops everything right back around. That's all he does. Like, this is like every Nazi ever. Like, if you want to study bad faith, you gotta study Nazis like this.
But you don't have to see proof of... Yeah, oh.
See, he's so lazy. He is so lazy. This is probably the laziest person I've ever seen on YouTube.
God.
Oh my god. Oh, he wants me to prove my point. Oh, I can't. Oh, shrug. Oh, I have no proof that God exists. You better prove a negative. Prove a negative. Prove that God doesn't exist. Prove a negative. Yeah, that's not fucking bad faith at all.
I'm here.
Yeah, let's see. Take timestamp. I thought you were here to have your mind changed. You just want people to agree with you. Brainlit. Absolutely brainlit. You can't prove a negative.
Here to see proof of the godless world. I'm all for an opinion.
Okay, where's God? I don't see God. It's a godless world. There's your proof. There is no God. There is no God. Where's God? He can't be found. There's
But
the
you
proof.
don't have to call us stupid. That is just rage bait. No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's TikTok too. What do you mean by that? Are you Christian? I'm definitely not.
I'm definitely not, but he identifies as Lucifer, which is Christian theology.
Yep, 100% rage bait. It definitely is not.
Definitely is.
Lamau, this is just sad. All right,
Yep.
You don't have to be here. Please, on my life, put me up to have a civil debate. No, I still have to set this up.
Yes. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy might actually be might have some sort of deficiency. Like, I think there's something seriously wrong with this guy. I think he's psychotic or something.
On my life, put me up to...
not capable of having a rational debate. That is just like so fucking brainlet. I feel like I'm getting stupid just
To have a
listening to
civil
him.
debate? No, I still have to set this up. Let's see.
Lazy, knows he can't prove his point.
I can't have a belief, but you can. Oh my god, these people are brain dead.
What the fuck? These people are brain dead? Yeah, so he can have beliefs, and people are expected. He expects people to prove his beliefs wrong, which are beliefs, not facts, and then calls people brain dead because he can't prove his point. He's the brain dead one. Are you serious?
I can't have a belief.
He probably has no idea how to do what I'm doing right now. Probably doesn't have the mental capacity.
Belief, but you can. Oh my god, these people are brain. Dead. What is going on with my internet?
He can't even articulate his point. He's just padding his time. What's going on with my internet?
Is it working? Religion coping mechanism.
Yes.
All right. Can I ask what is stupid about atheism?
He answers a question with a question. That's bad faith. Answering a question with a question. That's how you know someone is stupid.
First of all, religion coping mechanism.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. Timestamp. I can't wait to break all this down.
Mechanism. All right. Can I ask what is
Like it's a complete like divergence. Like what is that question isn't even in the realm of the right field. Like what? There is nothing stupid about atheism. There is nothing stupid about atheism. There you go.
Stupid about atheism? First of all, they don't understand that it's an actual worldview that has positive claims that they actually have to defend.
So you don't have to defend your points, but everyone else has to defend their points. Your whole panentheism is a world viewpoint. Like, you have to prove it, otherwise you can't. Like he doesn't even understand the definition of atheism. Atheism doesn't say that God's not real. It says, oh my god, I feel like I'm getting stupid.
An actual worldview that
I can't wait to break this down.
has positive claims that they actually have to
It's not atheism. Do I have to, like, really type in, like, what atheism is? Let me check something. Let's see here. Atheism is not a lack of belief in gods. It's not a worldview, not a religion, not a philosophy. It is a response to one specific claim: God exists. Let's see here. Atheism. Okay, so let's deconstruct this. So, atheism is a worldview that has positive claims that they actually have to defend. Why this is categorically false. Atheism is a lack of belief in gods, not a worldview, not a religion, not a philosophy. It is a response to one specific claim: God exists. Atheism is not a worldview like naturalism, secular humanism, or materialism. It's a position on a single metaphysical claim, just like non-stamp collecting isn't a hobby. Atheism isn't a worldview, it's a reaction to one. Saying it's a worldview is like saying bald is a hairstyle. He implies atheists must defend something. That's a fallacy, shifting the burden of proof. The person making the positive claim, God exists, universe is a mind, must provide evidence. Atheism simply withholds belief until that burden is met. If someone claims there's a dragon in their garage, I don't have to disprove it, they have to prove it. He implies atheism has positive claims, e.g., there is no God. In reality, most atheists are agnostic atheists. I don't believe in God because there's no sufficient evidence. Only hard atheists make the positive claim God does not exist, and that's actually not even hard atheism, that's anti-theism. Anti-theism says that God doesn't exist. Atheism says I don't believe there's a God because there's no evidence to prove it. It's rational. You need evidence to prove something. Like just like just like I said, like if someone claims there's a dragon in their garage, I don't have to disprove it. They have to disprove it. The burden lies on the claims. Even then, they only take that stance when the God being defined is logically incoherent, e.g., omnipotence paradox. The omnipotent paradox is what I was saying earlier. What created the thing that created the thing? So what created this omnipotent being? You can't, there is no answer. You don't have an answer because it doesn't exist. If you had proof, you'd have an answer to that basic question. You're arguing against a position most atheists don't hold. That's not a rebuttal, it's a straw man. Atheism is a worldview. Reality, no, it's a lack of belief in a specific claim. Atheists must prove something. No, theist bears burden of proof. Atheism makes positive claims. Only some atheists do, and only in defined contexts. So there you go. He doesn't even know the definition of atheism. How do I do this? Let's see. Timestamps. 5:37. Copy. Let's see. 5:37.
To defend. Wrong belief. What even world we living in? All right. It's lagging on TikTok too. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll have to call my internet people. Why should someone's belief be wrong because everyone doesn't believe what they believe? I'm saying that it's probably wrong.
But you don't have to prove it. Yeah, that's, oh my god, that's, what do you call that? That's fucking semantic. That's semantic reasoning.
Doesn't believe what they believe.
So you're saying people are wrong without actually saying people are wrong, and then just dismissing everything else. See if I
They believe. I'm saying that has positive claims that they believe. I'm saying that it's probably wrong. There's no other aspect to it. It's probably just not true.
It's probably just not true. So again, burden of
It's gone,
proof.
my bad. It's back. I think it might be fine now. Don't forget to like the video over on TikTok. I guess I'm only on TikTok. I think there's some people over on YouTube. Like a 2-minute delay. Wow. That can't be right.
That's because your settings are garbage.
Can't we just respect each other's beliefs? Oh my god, that's just a TikTok shit talk thing to say. No. Okay, my internet is almost like unusable.
Yeah, he's just padding his son. This is something
Atheism is
this
basic.
is something bad faith people do. Is they just run out the clock. They just run out the clock as long as they can, so that the people get tired of what they're saying, their logical fallacies, their circular logic, their lack of reasoning, basic fucking educational skills.
Basically just people worshipping orthodox science pushed by the government. Yeah, that's actually accurate, by the way.
Wow. Wow. The atheism is atheism is not anti-theism. Atheism asks you to prove that there's a God. Anti-theism says there is no God. Both require science, by the way. Both require science.
Worshipping orthodox. Atheism is basically just
Again, doesn't know the definition of atheism. Like, this whole video should be like, this is what atheism isn't. Like, this is what atheism isn't. That's anti-theism. Okay, I had to cough up some blood. Let's see here. Where was I? Atheism is people worshipping all orthodox science pushed by the governments. That's anti-theism. Christianity is what's pushed by the government. If anything's pushed by the government, it's fucking Christianity. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, look at our president fucking saying God bless and this and that. Like, like, Christianity is pushed by the government. Project 2025, everything's pushing Christianity. Everything's pro-Christian. What are you talking about? Atheism is a minority. Atheists are in a minority. So how is something that's pushed by the government a minority?
just people worshipping orthodox science pushed by the government. Yeah, that's actually accurate, by the way. Let's see. You can't have a wrong opinion. You can't have a wrong opinion. Also, I don't believe in God because I'm not going to blindly follow something and change my life for something with no proof. You actually do that, by the way.
What? You're telling someone what they believe? Like you're full on asserting what someone else
Do that.
believes.
Not going.
Like
You
just
can't have a
asserting
wrong opinion. You can't have a wrong opinion. Also, I don't believe in.
Let's see here.
God, because I'm not going to blindly follow something and change my life for something with no proof. Proof. You actually do that by.
Describes himself, confuses atheism with anti-theism. Oh my god. Ignoration.
By the way. But long ago and ma fish people, what is going on with my fucking internet? Wow. My religion was created pretty much this year, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a.
His religion was created this year. What? Panentheism has been around for a while. So he's saying he invented panentheism a year ago.
What is going on with my fucking internet? Wow. My religion was created.
Who knew fascists didn't get good internet? How do you spell that again? Doesn't even know the origins of what he believes in.
Created pretty much this year, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a Christian.
You definitely are.
Let's see. You're view farming and rage baiting. You're disgusting. What a moron. You literally don't have to be here. Every now and again, I get the morons in here.
I can't wait to make a bunch of short clips about this. This is like insane.
We know that the moon isn't made of green cheese, but if we were made out of barbecue spare ribs, would you eat it then? All right. Let's see. I'm an atheist and will take your bait for perhaps a few minutes. What's your religion? I am a savior. Basically what atheists believe, but
not what atheists believe at all. Atheists believe there is no God because there is no proof for it. So you're an atheist now? So you're an atheist. So you're an atheist. He doesn't know what atheists believe. They believe there is no God because there is no proof to prove it. Like, what? He doesn't even know what atheism is.
the totality. I am a savior. Basically what perhaps a few minutes. What's your religion? I am a savior. Basically what
Atheists don't believe. That's the point. Atheists don't believe. Atheists don't believe. It's that simple.
Atheists believe, but the totality of reality is almost like the exact opposite. What do you believe?
I'm gonna have to break that down later because that just broke my brain. That literally just broke my brain. He. So it's atheism in reverse? Like, this is so stupid. This is maddening. This is absolutely maddening.
You probably believe the world is non-living, physical universe through like a big bang. I'll just go the exact opposite.
He's describing the demiurge. A metaphysical mind through mental expansion, and then he uses panentheism.
Living, metaphysical.
Is this one metaphysics? Which one's the metaphysics? This one, this row. Right here. Let's go into panentheism, if I'm even saying that right. So panentheism. Reality is a mind or a metaphysical mastermind, a demiurge from Gnosticism, which is an offshoot of Christianity, which is dogma in nature. Actual position is panentheism, not atheism or pure theism. Panentheism is all is in God, but God is more than all, which is a paradox. The universe is part of God, but God also transcends it. It combines immanence, God is the universe, with transcendence, God exceeds it. That's literally the demiurge. So in Gnosticism, there is the pleroma, which is above the demiurge. So the demiurge is what he's describing, which is a metaphysical archetype, like an architect. But there is a level above the demiurge. So the demiurge it claims to be a god, is a false god, keeps people trapped in imprisonment, just like the architect does in the Matrix, right? But there is a layer above the architect that the architect is ignorant about. So he's literally describing more Gnosticism than anything. Unlike panentheism, God equals universe, panentheism claims a cosmic mind plus something beyond it, which is impossible. The universe is conscious, informational, or a mind. This is an error because it mixes ontological levels, taking attributes of minds like thought, design, purpose, and projecting them onto the universe, which has no empirical basis. The term mind is a category that applies to agents with boundaries, memory, and intentionality. The universe shows no falsifiable evidence of intention, communication, or goal setting. Assigning mind to the universe equals anthropomorphism, not logic. You're taking the concept of mind, which requires a bounded agent, and pasting it onto the entire cosmos. That's like saying the ocean wants to swim. It's poetic but not logical. He's basically saying the ocean wants to swim. Think about that for a minute. Who's the moron here? The moron that thinks an ocean wants to swim. So there's no evidence of conscious agency. Panentheism implies the universe has will, memory, attention, and goals. But there's no observable, testable behavior indicating this. Natural phenomenon follow causal laws, not personal intent. You can't claim the universe is a mind without proving input-output structure input-output structure, perceptual mechanism, and a feedback loop, which is what I was talking about. It's a paradox. Like, it just loops all the way back around. It's a feedback loop. You're declaring the universe is conscious, but consciousness has mechanisms, neurons, inputs, outputs. Where is any of that at the scale of the cosmos? If it's at the scale of the cosmos, then we'd be able to indicate it scientifically. Cosmologists would be religious in that case. Panentheism can't be tested. It's a belief that can't be proven. It's unfalsifiable. It can't be proven true. It doesn't belong in debate or rational argument unless evidence is introduced. If he says it's just what he believes, he loses authority to mock atheism. If he says it's proved, then you have to demand an epistemic standard. What is the evidence? How could we falsify it? If your belief can't be falsified, it's not proof. It's theology, which is fine, but don't pretend you're standing on logic. Panentheism is just a modern restatement of Gnostic/Neoplatonic metaphysics, which is what I was saying. The universe is a mind. That's Platonius. That's Neoplatonism. Hidden architect. That's Gnosticism. Light in all things. That's the Kabbalah. Everything is in God. That's Hindu Vedanta process theology. Panentheism is just theology with better branding. You've renamed the demiurge a mastermind, but you're still in myth, not reason. You say atheism is stupid, but your worldview is unfalsifiable mysticism with no method. You mock people for believing in God, then say the whole universe is God's mind. You replaced Yahweh with a metaphysical mastermind. That's not logic, that's rebranded theology. You didn't escape religion, you just swapped the names and kept the metaphysics. So he's literally just copy-pasting his beliefs. Like, he can't prove anything. It's all just his word with no evidence. So this is a good lesson on bad faith. This is a pretty good lesson on bad faith.
Mind through the mental expansion. Yours is pretty much unfalsifiable, and so is mine, so the probability of mine is almost like equally as true as yours, if you know what I mean.
No, that's not how logic and math and everything works. Like,
okay. The world is non-living, physical universe through like a Big Bang.
Yeah, but then what created the Big Bang? And then what created the thing that created the created the Big Bang? What created the thing that created the thing? And then what's the thing that created the thing that created the thing?
Go the exact opposite. Living metaphysical mind through the mental expansion. Yours is pretty much
unfalsifiable. This is, what did I tell you? Everything he says is unfalsifiable, and then he uses semantic reasoning. He just flips everything back onto the other person. Oh, I have no proof, but you must prove everything. He doesn't even know the definition of falsifiable or atheism. I can't imagine being this brainlet. Like, I can't imagine being this brainlet.
Mind through the mental expansion. Yours is pretty much unfalsifiable, and so is mine, so the probability of mine is almost like
almost equally. So it's not equal. His viewpoint is not equal. It's lesser. He admits this. Like, does he even, like, this is how people argue with themselves. This is how Christians argue with themselves. Like, he is definitely a Christian. He's definitely a Christian theologist. More like Gnostic, fucking just swapping things out. He's basically playing Legos, and he has no idea what each piece signifies. He's building a Lego tower incorrectly. Let me check something. This is a misuse of probability theory and a false equivalence between claims. He equates atheism with holding belief due to lack of evidence. Panentheism is affirming a metaphysical mastermind exists. So he admits that he can't prove that it exists, but he's claiming that he's panentheism, which affirms that a mastermind exists. The truth is, atheism is not a claim, it's a default position. Panentheism is a positive metaphysical claim. It claims that there is an agent, a metaphysical agent. The false equivalence: not all unfalsifiable claims are equally probable. Saying our claims are both unfalsifiable doesn't make them equally valid. It makes yours unprovable and mine uncommitted. He implies if both are unfalsifiable, the odds are roughly the same. In reality, probability requires a defined sample space, measurable likelihoods, and consistent priors. You can't assign a probability to an untestable metaphysical proposition without circular reasoning. See, everything he does is circular reasoning. There is a magical turtle behind the moon. There isn't. These are non-equiprobable. Equiprobable. One is a positive claim with zero evidence. The other is a rejection of unjustified belief. Probability doesn't apply to unfalsifiable ideas. You're playing games with logic. That's not how knowledge works. He tries to lower the bar by saying both are unfalsifiable, so we should accept his without evidence. The more specific and complex a claim, the more evidence it demands. The universe is a conscious mind with a transcendent layer. That's a huge ontological claim. You want your metaphysical mastermind treated as equally likely as no belief, but yours has a massive complexity burden with zero evidence. Oh, it'll take a few hours. But okay, then just do it. Just explain it. Then if you explain it once, then you never have to explain it again. You can just point to where you explained it. That's lazy. That's epistemic sloth. Circular reasoning. Let's see here. Breakdown. That's at what timestamp? That's at 8:42.
Equally as true as yours, if you know what I mean. We don't know what this world actually is.
You Panentheism claims that you know what this world actually is, though. What?
So we don't know what this this world actually is. So you could say, I believe in all science, I believe in like the standard model for particle physics, I believe in the periodic table in chemistry, I believe maybe in like abiogenesis and biology and evolution. I can believe in all of that. So just look up.
No, you can't. You can't. Those are falsifiable versus a metaphysical agent which is non-falsifiable.
I can believe in all of that. I believe maybe in like abiogenesis and biology and evolution. I can believe in all of that. So just look up pantheism and panentheism if you want a general understanding of what I believe in.
He doesn't even know what he believes in.
Okay, let's see. Are you a Calvinist? No. I don't do that. At least science has proof and has been worked out and doesn't rely on an invisible God. It actually kind of does in a way.
No, it kinda doesn't. That requires proof.
If you look and doesn't rely on an invisible God, it actually kind of does in a way. If you look up quantum mechanics, some of the particles aren't there. So your entire reality is based on some sort of invisible, intangible stuff.
Intangible stuff. That's just science we don't understand isn't religion. Science you don't understand isn't religion. Like that, I don't get that. Here, let's try. Category confusion with science and theism. He equates scientific uncertainty, QM interdependency, with a belief in God. Quantum mechanics describes probabilistic behavior, not divine agency. Saying God is in the gaps is an ancient fallacy. Invoking the divine wherever science hasn't explained something fully. This is what I was saying. Saying some particles aren't there isn't proof of God. It's a measurement problem, not a deity. If you can't measure how deep a pool is, does that mean it's not deep? Particles aren't there. Wave function equals superposition of possibilities. Science relies on God. Science relies on models plus measurement. Quantum mechanics doesn't point to God, it points to probabilities. You're confusing math with magic. He earlier said atheism is wrong for lacking certainty. Now he says science, the most rigorous system of evidence, secretly relies on invisible forces. You just went from mocking atheism for not having answers to saying science relies on the same invisibility you accuse of atheists denying. See, he literally debunks himself. Like, he is so unaware, he is so lacking such self-awareness that he debunks himself. Oh. Smoke break. For my sanity, I must stay stoned. Wubba lubba dub dub! Okay, where was I? Oh god, nice and stoned. I need some kratom. Ugh. Not trying to pad time, but just trying to stay sane in this insane person's world. I plan on editing this out into like clips of where like I debunk each section, and then that way people can use that for studies for debates, and then you have answers so that when you come across these like these same talking points, you will know exactly like what is what. I'm gonna turn this video into like a course. Okay, timestamps.
Like photons and electrons are a little bit confusing once you look into it on a deeper level.
So you don't understand something, therefore It's God. I don't understand, therefore it's God.
They're not really physical in the sense of this. Even though this is made up of them, they're
Quantum mechanics is
probability
not
clouds. You can live.
Quantum mechanics is not metaphysics. That's a categorical error. That's an ontological error.
Literally just look up probability cloud, and you'll see what I mean. What you believe to be physical actually might not be, and actually might be mental or metaphysical.
Oh my god, that's the whole "how do you know reality is reality" bit.
Hold on, actually might not be, and you'll see what I mean. What you believe.
Once you get into that line of reasoning, it's like you've entered the insane asylum. That's solipsism, right? That's solipsism. So he's getting into solipsism now. Let's see. Which one's metaphysic? Solipsism. How do you spell solipsism again? Oh, I might have to Google it because I can't remember how to spell solipsism. Panpsychism. Okay, let's. I'm thinking of solipsism. There's also panpsychism. Let's see here. Create a new. What's that? 1023. Solipsism? Schism. Solipsism. What was that timestamp at? 1023. Well, What you think might be true might just be your mind. That's solipsism. Solipsism equals only one's mind is sure to exist. It is an epistemological extreme, not a rational worldview, and is self-defeating if used in debate. It's self-defeating argument. Like I've said, like this guy just like literally argues against himself back and forth constantly like a crazy person. Misapplication. He uses solipsism to undermine debate. He implies you can't be sure of anything, therefore no claim can be falsified. This is rhetorical cowardice. Solipsism is a non-defensible position in logic or science. It is a hypothetical limit, not a standard. If you're invoking solipsism to dodge facts, you've already lost the argument. You can't appeal to radical doubt while making positive truth claims. If only your mind exists, who are you debating? You're debating yourself like a crazy person. So like if you already believe in solipsism, like there's a chance like you're not quite all sane to begin with. Trying to convince someone you're right presumes an external mind capable of judgment. So why are you trying to convince yourself? If you believe in solipsism, you believe that this is everything's in your mind. Why are you arguing with yourself? Like why are you literally and metaphysically arguing with yourself? You're trying to win debate using solipsism, but that assumes I exist to be persuaded. That's contradiction. If it might just be your mind as your standard, then you have no way to distinguish truth from fantasy, including your own. Solipsism is a valid debate position. That's a myth. No, reality, it collapses debate by denying shared premises. It might just be in your mind defeats evidence. No, it defeats everything, including your own position. Because who are you arguing with? Yourself. You can use solipsism selectively. Nope, it's all or nothing. If you invoke it, you void your own claim too. So it's like an Uno reverse card on yourself. Think about an Uno reverse card on yourself. So so you're saying everything's in your mind, then you're debating with yourself. If you're debating with yourself about some external thing, then the thing doesn't exist because it's in your mind, right? If everything's in your mind, then nothing is real. If nothing is real, then who are you talking to? Like, who are you arguing with? You're arguing with what, an hallucination? If you believe in solipsism, like, that's a slippery slope to insanity, if you ask me. Like, when you think about it, solipsism is insanity.
To be physical actually might not be, and actually might be.
Might. Again, might. He never makes a definite claim as to like, oh, it is this or it isn't this. He builds everything on plausible deniability. Might be, probably be. Your opinion probably won't be right, so I won't acknowledge it. Oh, you're probably wrong, so I won't acknowledge it. Everything's built on probabilities, and he doesn't even understand actual probability because he invoked quantum mechanics and then cited quantum mechanics incorrectly, completely bastardized quantum mechanics. Like, it's like that old saying, like, if you went back in time with an iPhone, everyone would think you were a god, right? Like, if you went back in time with, like, an iPhone and took pictures and then showed someone the picture, they would fucking call you a witch and shit. They would call you the devil and shit because it's science they don't understand. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's magical hokey dokey. That's preemptive. So he's intentionally doing this. Like he's as stupid as an NPC, but he's doing this intentionally. If you can wrap your head around this, like he knows he's full of shit, so he builds everything on probability. It's preemptive. Everything is like preemptive. So that's why he said earlier, like I said, it might be, and then he just uses that as a scapegoat for everything.
Be mental or metaphysical. Hold on. What's your stance on macroevolution? The fact that we've never seen new information arise in a genome through natural processes certainly seems to strike against it. I think epigenetics is something similar to that.
Is it though? I'm not sure about that. I'll have to double check that.
Probability clouds. You can literally just look up probability cloud and you'll see what I mean. What you believe to be physical actually might not be, and actually might be mental or metaphysical. Hold on. What's your stance on macroevolution? The fact that we've never seen new information arise in a genome through natural processes certainly seems to strike against it. I think epigenetics.
Let's fact check that. Macroevolution equals large-scale evolutionary change over long periods of time, speciation, like the dinosaurs. Epigenetic changes in gene expression, not DNA sequence, due to environmental triggers. They operate at different biological levels and timescales. It's a false dichotomy. Macroevolution as epigenetics. Macroevolution is supported by fossil records, genomic evidence, and observed speciation. Epigenetics describes short-term gene expression, how traits may activate, suppress based on environment. Things like fibromyalgia, like chronic illnesses, can be triggered by environmental change, like influences. Epigenetics does not require or does not replace or disprove macroevolution. Saying epigenetics replaces evolution is like saying traffic lights replace the concept of roads. Epigenetics affects individuals and their immediate descendants. Macroevolution affects species across generations through mutation plus natural selection. Epigenetics can explain how a rat adapts to cold. It can't explain why rats and whales share a common ancestor. He uses epigenetics to sound scientific while denying an actual scientific consensus. Common tactic in pseudoscience circles. Epigenetics becomes a stand-in for creationist-friendly macroevolution-only logic. He's not doing science, he's throwing around lab terms to dodge the overwhelming evidence of evolution. So, myths. Epigenetics disproves evolution. Reality, no, it works within evolution, not against it. They are alternative theories. No, they explain different layers of biology. Evolution is invalidated by gene regulation. Note, gene regulation is a part of evolutionary mechanisms. So let's go with that analogy again. Where was it? Saying epigenetics replaces evolution is like saying traffic lights replaces the concept of roads. Let me update this. That was at 10:40. So here we go. I plan on publishing this on my website, by the way. Macroevolution doesn't make sense. Epigenetics is more accurate. Use dismiss evolution in favor of buzzword science. Oh, I need to copy the timestamp. Oh, it's 10:31. It's like 10:31 to something. Copy. Got a nice timestamp here. So now if I... wait, did I do the right one?
Visible God. It actually kind of does in a way.
Wait, no, that's not the right... That's not the right timestamp. Is 10:43. Here it is, 10:31.
The fact that we've never seen new information arise in a genome through natural processes certainly seems to strike against it. I think epigenetics is something similar to that. I would say that macroevolution would be true simply based on the fact that every single being is different to the beings that produced it. Or are you talking about microevolution? You have no response to me because I'm correct. Okay, idiot. All right. Interesting.
Right? He just calls him idiot. What the fuck? He's like... he calls it out. You have no response to me because you're wrong. You're an idiot. What the fuck?
I just don't believe... you have no response to me because...
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh my god. Thankfully, I'm actually learning correcting him. I'm actually learning some things. Microevolution versus epigenetics. Oh, I'm gonna have to clip that. Also, it's ironic calling someone an idiot because everyone's technically an idiot. What is an idiot? An idiot is someone who doesn't know something. So it's like everyone is an idiot. Like, that's something I never understood, is calling people idiots like that when they prove you wrong, because it's like, well, yeah, I'm an idiot, you're an idiot, I'm an idiot. Everyone's an idiot. To some degree, there's something you're ignorant about, right? Like, to be an idiot is to be ignorant about something. Ad hominem.
I'm correct. Okay, idiot. All right. Interesting. I just don't believe in things without evidence at all. Yeah, my religion would be entirely based on...
Okay, then provides no evidence. He said his religion was invented a year ago, and that he probably has evidence, and then says... He says he says my religion would be entirely based on evidence. So he doesn't have a religion. So he admits he's lying. He doesn't have a religion. So it's all in the wordplay. Would be entirely based on evidence, not is. If he was speaking from an actual talking point, he would have said, yes, my religion is entirely based on evidence. But because he says my religion would be entirely based on evidence, it's saying, oh, it would be entirely based on evidence if it was real, which it isn't. It's all in the wordplay. His religion would be entirely based on evidence. But what is religion if not belief? And belief is absence of evidence, typically. Like, you can have, like... The appropriate response would be, I have an ideology that's based entirely on evidence. If you replace religion with ideology, it makes way more sense. I have an ideology based entirely on evidence, which I technically do. But he's replacing ideology with religion, like, interchangeably. It's like false dichotomy. Would meaning isn't.
Evidence. Basically, just the paradigm is different, though.
See, that's what I'm saying. The paradigm is different, though. Yeah, see, he's just replacing ideology for religion.
You believe in kind of the godless world, and I'll just go with the God world with the exact opposite concepts.
Okay, I'm gonna have to break that down. Okay, I'm gonna have to break that down. Let's see.
Kind of the godless world, and I'll just paradigm is different, though. You believe in kind of the godless world, and I'll just go with the God world with the exact opposite concept.
So he's basically describing an ideology, not a religion, but saying it's a religion. It's like a complete false dichotomy. It's like giving me brain rot. Like, I feel like I'm getting brain rot from dissecting this, but at the same time I'm learning. If that makes sense.
Kind of the godless world, and I'll just go with the God world with the exact opposite concept.
False equivalence and relevance fallacy. Okay, let's break this down. Eleven. What is this? So
Concepts.
I need to get that a little. Yeah. Okay. So instead of 1122. Wait. Whoops. Wrong one. So instead of 1122, it needs to be 1120. Ah, my obsidian keeps bugging out. 1119. Okay, 1119. Okay, let's see here. Obsidian. Okay, so here we are, 11:19. So, oh wait, I need to post the time.
Then I'll just go with the God world with the exact opposite concepts. And when you get into the what is it? I forget the word. The tiny details, I actually think that they favor my side more so than yours.
I think, but they don't. They don't. Okay, so you believe in the non-God world, and I believe in the God world with exact opposite concepts. Why this is philosophically invalid. This is a false equivalence and a relativist fallacy. It equates a belief in something, God, with a lack of belief in it, as if both worldviews are grounded in equal metaphysical weight. Saying you believe in a non-God world misrepresents the atheist position. Atheism is not an active belief in no God world, it's a lack of belief in a God world due to insufficient evidence. We don't believe because there's not enough evidence for it. If there was evidence, we would believe. So atheism is actually very rational and very logical, because if there were evidence of a God, you'd be like, okay, I accept that. And now I believe in God because there's evidence to believe to prove it. That's rational. That is complete rational. Atheism is not an active belief in a no God world. It's a lack of belief in a God world due to insufficient evidence. He frames withholding belief as identical to asserting a metaphysical opposite. This is categorically false. Not collecting stamps isn't a stamp collecting philosophy. It's just not engaging with the premise. Treating God and no God as two equally justified positions sidesteps burden of proof. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The theist makes a claim, the atheist refrains from belief until shown. Theism and non-theism are not equally loaded systems. One requires positive metaphysical assumptions, the other does not. So one requires assumptions of something and the other does not. Which is more rational? You believe in something, I'm not convinced. Those are not opposites, those are burdened positions. He implies he knows there is a God world, then claims both positions are equal. If he believes one is true, he cannot logically treat both as valid interpretations. If you believe your worldview is true, why are you pretending both sides are just mirror images? Either one is true or one isn't. This isn't dualism, it's a dodge. Atheists believe in a non-God world. Reality, no, they don't believe in a God world. Pending evidence. God and no God are mirror metaphysics. No, one asserts, the other withholds. Both sides hold equal metaphysical weight. No, only the theist introduces an entity. I'm getting a lot of content off this.
Like when you get into physicality and time and things like that, I actually
Which just random. He's just literally saying random things now that have nothing to do with
think
anything.
that my side would be stronger in the end.
Even
if it's just 51% my side, 49% your side, that's what I mean. I'm not saying that mine is certainly true. If it's equally true as yours, how can you say our belief is probably wrong, but yours isn't? I think I just answered that a little bit there.
Right back into a circle.
Because basically on the surface level...
No, it's not equal. It's not equal. What one side proposes we require evidence, the other side requires no evidence and is a claim. That's not on the same level. That's by definition not on the same level. False equivalence. One requires proof, the other does not.
it's equal in relation to the concepts just being opposite, but when you get into the tiny details, I actually think
They're
that mine
not
makes more
opposite. That's a false equivalence. They are not opposite.
sense. Like the Big Bang, for example, doesn't make sense physically.
Really? Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Like the Big Bang, for example, tiny details, I actually think that mine makes more sense. Like
The Big Bang doesn't make sense physically. Doesn't make sense physically. What does that even mean? Doesn't make sense physically.
it's equal in like the Big Bang, for example, doesn't make sense physically. Physically, the Big Bang makes no sense at all.
Okay. Used to dismiss the origin of the universe based on personal incredulity. The Big Bang Theory is the most empirically supported model for the origin and evolution of the universe. It is not a wild guess, it is grounded in measurable, testable physical evidence, including cosmic microwave background radiation, CMB, redshift of galaxies, abundance of light elements. It doesn't make sense to me is not a scientific refutation. Difficulty understanding complex physics like singularities or space-time expansion does not invalidate the model. This goes right back into what I was saying before. Because I don't understand it, therefore it's not true. This is like a high level of like narcissism because it's narcissistic realism. That's what it is. I need to put that down. It's narcissistic realism. It's narcissistic realism. Because I believe it, it must be true. You're wrong because I believe you're wrong. That's narcissistic realism. It's the reality contorts to one's belief instead of one's belief according with reality. It's a high level of narcissism. This is textbook fallacy of incredulity, rejecting something because it's counterintuitive. Your lack of understanding is not the same as a flaw in the theory. If just because you don't understand rocket science doesn't mean that rocket science is bunk, right? Just because you don't understand rocket science doesn't mean that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to you, but that doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. Common misconception is that the Big Bang was an explosion in space. Reality is an expansion of space itself, not in space. It's an expansion of space itself, but not in space. Space, time, and matter all began with the Big Bang. Physical models describe this mathematically with general relativity and quantum field theory. You're attacking a strawman version of the Big Bang, not the actual physics model. The Big Bang model has predictive power. It predicted the temperature and existence of the CMB before it was discovered, and it explains why galaxies are moving away from each other at predictable rates, Hubble's law. It's supported by observations across astronomy, particle physics, and cosmology. No other theory explains this body of evidence as accurately and consistently. The Big Bang is speculation. No, it's supported by multiple lines of physical evidence. It doesn't make sense. That's personal incredulity, not a scientific critique. It's just a theory. In science, theory equals explanatory model backed by evidence, not a guess. Oh. Let's see here. So I think what he's doing is he's confusing corporal with physicality. Corporality versus physicality.
Okay, let's see. Also, what do you think atheism is? And I will tell you what I mean by it as well. Well, I'm pretty sure you mean atheism is just, I don't believe in a god, but that's not what it is. That's what it is directly, but not indirectly, and the indirect is of greater importance. An atheist will basically say, like, I just don't believe in a god, right?
No, that's not atheism. That's not atheism. Let's go back into atheism. What is atheism? Not a lack of belief in gods, not a religion, not a philosophy. It is one response to one specific claim. God exists. Atheism is not a worldview. It is a position on a single metaphysical claim, just like non-stamp collecting isn't a hobby. It's a lack of belief in a specific claim. They don't just say they don't believe in God. They say, I don't believe in God because there's no evidence to support it. So he doesn't get what atheism is correct.
Importance. An atheist will basically say, like, I just don't believe in a god, right? The godless world.
That's anti-theism. He doesn't know the distinction between anti-theism and atheism.
Exists, the godless world takes some sort of structure. The godless world exists, takes some sort of structure, and actually makes sense. So right now you actually have to make sense of it and prove that it's true and real. And
No,
you can
that's not
begin by
atheism.
explaining time or physicality, like did time begin or not begin? So is there an infinite regress?
Right, so he's shifting the burden of proof again. This is something that bad faith Nazis always do, is they just shift the burden of proof. I don't have to prove anything, you have to prove. You have to prove me wrong. I don't have to prove I'm right. You have to prove me wrong, but I don't have to prove I'm right.
Which you then have to
They expect you to prove a negative, which can't be done
prove to be
logically.
true, or was there a beginning of time with maybe the Big Bang, and you have to prove that that actually makes sense, which you can't as far as I'm
because I just explained it. It does make sense. I just explained it. So let's see. Measurable, testable physical evidence, including cosmic microwave background radiation, redshift of galaxies, and an abundance of light elements. I mean, there's a lot of evidence for the Big Bang Theory. It makes plenty of sense. You just have to understand it. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to you because you're a dummy.
I'm aware. And then, what is physicality? What, like, if the mind, an imaginary apple, is physical, that would mean that this entire world could be imaginary.
Solipsism, again. He's getting into solipsism. This is solipsism. Again, he's entered the insanity defense.
The apple is physical.
When someone resorts to solipsism, they are arguing against themselves. Literally. So he believes that everything is in his mind, like everything is basically an hallucination. So basically he's arguing with himself right now. He's arguing with an imaginary person is what he's saying.
What is physicality? What, like, if the mind, an imaginary apple, is physical, that would mean that this entire world could be imaginary. So once you get into these intricate, I literally have to look up this word, intricate.
Intricate. He doesn't know the word intricate. Oh my god. He doesn't know the word intricate. Are you fucking kidding me? He doesn't know the word intricate. Intricate details. Like complex, compounding details. Details within details. Intricate. What the fuck? How do you not know the word intricate? If you want to feel smart, all you have to do is watch this dummy argue against himself. Just imagine you could be this ignorant. Like whenever things get bad in your life, just remember this person exists. Apparently, this person exists. Apparently, well, I don't know. It could just be in my mind. He could just be a figment of my imagination. He can't prove he's real, right? He can't prove he's real. Oh my god. He doesn't know the word intricate. What the fuck? Oh my god. A literal NPC. A literal NPC. Intricate. I feel smart just watching him. I feel so smart just watching him.
Can't find it. Anyways, basically tiny details. Once you look into the
tiny details. Intricate. I'm dying here. I'm fucking dying. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe these people have the right to vote. I can't believe these people have the right to vote. Like, oh my god, sanity check. Sanity check. tiny details.
Tiny details, you'll see that my side actually might be stronger.
Might be stronger. It's not, but it might be. See, plausible deniability. It might be.
But at the same time, know me as a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be known as like some sort of truther god person.
So he is a conspiracy theorist. So he is like a flat earther logic. He is like basically a flat earther. Flat earthers are conspiracy theorists.
Were you a Christian since childhood? I was never a Christian.
But he identifies as Lucifer.
Atheism is stupid? You're stupid? I doubt it.
I doubt it. That's what a stupid person would say. What Can you expound on that? Like...
Yes, but at least we are not claiming that those invisible particles are in control of everything. You actually are, by the way.
No, he's not! What the fuck? This guy is like hallucinating. What the fuck? He's like, no, you don't believe this. Here's what you believe. Let me tell you what you believe. Oh my god.
At least we are not... Atheism is stupid. You're stupid. I doubt it. Yes, but at least we are not...
Oh my god. Oh, I'm getting so much data. I love data. I love data. I want to get that as a tattoo, if I could afford one. Claiming that invisible particles...
Not claiming that those invisible particles are in control of everything. You actually are, by the way.
What? Make it make sense. I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm trying. Okay. $14.39. $14.39. $14.39. $14.39. Yeah, it's a category error with a bad faith equivalence. Oh my god. This is a category error and a bad faith equivalence. It conflates empirically measurable particles with unobservable metaphysical agents, treating both as invisible to imply they're equally speculative. Scientific particles, e.g., quarks, neutrinos, Higgs boson, are not invisible faith claims. They are detected indirectly through predictable interactions, measurements, and experiments. Claiming they're invisible like a god or metaphysical mind is a misuse of the term. Invisible doesn't mean unknowable. Scientific particles leave measurable fingerprints. Gods don't. Can they be measured? Yes. Detectors and decay signatures. Entropy. What is the first rule of thermodynamics? Nothing can be created nor destroyed, only transferred. So something has to go... So when you pour water out of a cup, it has to go somewhere, right? It has to go somewhere else. It leaves a trace. Scientific models rely on testable predictions. Theological claims do not. They are unfalsifiable metaphysical assertions. Believing in particles isn't faith, it's trusting models that make accurate predictions. Science admits when something is unknown and attempts to investigate it systematically. So science will admit when something is unknown, but they don't say that it's a god right off the bat. They do some research. Saying you believe invisible things control everything mocks the very tools that advance understanding, inference, modeling, and experiment. This is the framing is anti-intellectual. It punishes inquiry while pretending to be critical thinking. Scientists believe in invisible forces like theists. Reality, no. Scientific forces are detected via measurable effects. Invisible equals unscientific. No. Many physical phenomena equals gravity, radiation are invisible but real. This guy does not believe in gravity. He literally does not believe in gravity. He believes gravity is magic. You can't see air. I guess air is magic. We can't test air. Like, hold your breath. Air's not real. It's invisible. Believing in particles is not faith. No, it's evidence-based inference, not metaphysical belief. Oh my god. Holy shit. I need to take a break here for a minute. My back is killing me. Oh, my back's like a crinkle, a water bottle. Like when you twist it, it crinkles. That's like my back, basically. Get some water here. For my sanity's sake, I have to stay stoned for sanity's sake, because otherwise it's just too maddening to deal with. But at least I'm getting a lot of data off of it. And then if I ever hear someone make the same fallacies and stuff, I can just refer to my notes. That's what my second brain is for. My obsidian vault. Okay, here we go. No, you actually believe.
I'm pretty sure the 2025 Nobel Prize winner said quantum mechanics is everything. So yes, they would be in control of everything.
So that means a rock can control itself because it's entirely a rock? What?
Yeah, quantum particles shows dual nature of wave and particles, so yeah, you're correct on that. When I say atheist, I mean that I have no
So he admits he's wrong and full of shit. He literally admits he's wrong. He literally admits he's wrong and then just glosses over it. Okay, next. What else can someone call me out on and me not circle around on? Oh my god. I'm dying here. I feel like I'm physically dying.
not being convinced. You're correct on that. Yeah, quantum particles shows control of everything.
Literal NPC. Ugh. messing up. Here we go. 14.
Yeah, quantum particle shows dual nature of wave and particles, so yeah, you're correct on that. When I say atheist, I mean that I have not been convinced that any God exists. I'm also not convinced that anything supernatural exists.
But he gave so many instances of atheism. He gave so many instances here of what he gave every definition of what atheism isn't, and proposing that that's what atheism is. So he proposed that atheism is everything that it's not. And now he's actually giving the correct definition.
Find no evidence that any God exists. When I say atheist, I mean that I have not been convinced that any God exists. I'm also not convinced that anything supernatural exists. I find no evidence for these things. Right, but then you're basically saying, I don't believe in the...
Okay,
what is
that's
it?
someone else.
I'm not convinced of the God world, therefore I'm on the side of the godless world. But you actually have no evidence that the godless world makes sense as well.
So, literally, science doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to break this down.
But I'm not convinced of basically saying, I don't anything supernatural exists. I find no evidence for these things. Right, but then you're basically...
Basically. Everything's so basic with this guy. Can you expound on that, sir?
Basically saying, I don't believe in the... what is it? I'm not convinced of the God world.
False dichotomy. False equivalence. Am I spelling that right? No, I did not spell that right. I am really stoned. False equivalence. 1511. 1511. 1511. 1511. 1511. 1511.
Therefore, I'm on the side of the godless world. But you actually have no evidence that the godless...
Yeah, it's flipping the burden of proof. It's a burden of proof inversion. Burden of proof inversion. You're basically saying... One second. Basically saying, I'm not convinced of the God world, therefore you're on the side of the godless world, but you have no evidence the godless world makes any sense. It's flipping the burden of proof with false dilemma. It reframes withholding belief as an active claim and demands evidence for that neutrality, a move that violates basic logic. Saying I'm not convinced is not a metaphysical position, it's a suspension of belief. The burden of evidence lies on the one asserting a truth, not the one withholding belief due to a lack of evidence. You don't need evidence to not believe something, you need evidence to believe it. He treats the debate as binary. You must either adopt his God world or defend a godless one. But absence of belief does not equals belief in an alternative world system. This erases the neutral position. I don't claim to know what the world is, only that your version hasn't convinced me. Rejecting your map of reality isn't the same as claiming I have a better one. It just means you failed basic scrutiny. You don't need to prove that a neutral or agnostic position makes sense in the same way a positive metaphysical claim must. The person proposing that a God exists must explain. The burden of proof is on him. What that means, how we know it, why it's necessary, and how it fits observable reality. To make sense, what does it mean? How do we know what it means? And why is it necessary? And how it fits observable reality. These are components of what's needed to make a world that makes sense, right? You're demanding epistemic responsibility from someone who's not even making a claim. So, withholding belief equals believing the opposite, which is a myth. Reality is it's a neutral position awaiting evidence. So, you're waiting to determine. You're not determining that there is no God because you don't believe there is one. That's anti-theism. Atheism is you're waiting to believe. So it's like you're open to the idea of believing if evidence presents itself. It's a neutral position. Atheism is a neutral position. You can convince someone that God exists. All you have to do is prove it. That's reasonable. That's rational. That's logical. Atheists must defend a godless world claim. No, they're not asserting a world at all. The God world and godless world are equal burdens. No, only the God world makes a positive claim. Only the God world makes a positive claim that God exists. Atheism is saying, well, I don't believe a God exists because there's no proof of it. Prove that there is a God and I will believe. That's logical, rational, and sane. Let's see, what was that at? What time step was that at? 1511. False framing.
This world makes sense as well. Like, can you prove to me that the godless world or the unintentional appearing universe actually makes sense? If you go with the Big Bang, it just kind of appeared or something.
It didn't kind of just appeared. Wait, what? Okay, so now I need to add to the Big Bang. I need to make a note here for the Big Bang, apparently. I need to make a Big Bang note now. This is getting intense. Okay. I don't know why I have all these spaces here. Okay, so...
Can you actually make sense? If you go with the Big Bang,
or something. Kind of appeared. See, everything is like as loose as it can be. It's giving yourself like it's giving yourself infinite leeway and giving no one else any leeway. It's the definition of bad faith. This is a bad faith investigation or research analysis, whatever you want to call it. And I'll come out of this with a lot of content, a lot of notes that I can use when other people create the same fallacies and false dichotomies, false equivalences. Okay, 1535. Yeah, it's oversimplifying. Like, that's the problem with oversimplification. Like, nothing is simple about reality, the world, humans. So when you try to simplify something that's infinitely complex, all you get is something that doesn't make sense. When you simplify something complex, you lose coherence. Like when you oversimplify something so complex, you get incoherence. You get this person. Okay, where was the other note? I got so many notes here. Big Bang. Is that in the breakdown? Big Bang, Big Bang. Yeah, here it is. Big Bang. 12, 17. Big Bang, Big Bang. Who doesn't love a Big Bang? Okay, so the Big Bang just kind of appeared or something. This is a distortion of the Big Bang model to make it sound absurd or unscientific. The Big Bang does not claim something came from nothing in a cartoonish sense. It is a model describing the expansion of space-time from an extremely hot, dense state based on measurable evidence. The Big Bang Theory does not say something just appeared randomly. It describes expansion of space-time, initial state of high energy and density, supported by cosmic microwave background radiation, CMB, Hubble redshift, and elemental abundances. Mocking a theory because you haven't described it. Mocking a theory you haven't described accurately isn't a critique. It's anti-intellectual, intellectual theater. There we go. I am stoned. The model begins at t minus 43 seconds. Planck time, before which physics breaks down. Cosmologists don't claim certainty before this point. They acknowledge limits of current models, as in there is some things that we just don't know, right? But that doesn't mean that you should. Occam's razor isn't the simplest answer is the correct one. That's not Occam's razor. That's a bastardized Occam's razor. It's not. Occam's razor isn't the simplest answer is the correct one. It's the simplest one that has evidence supporting it, and that would be evolution, the Big Bang Theory, etc., etc. There will always be things that humans never know, but that doesn't mean that you should just resort to hokey dokey religions to fill in the gaps, right? It's like what we know is like an infinite ocean, like, right? Like what we don't know is an infinite ocean, and it's like trying to build too big of a boat can cause instability. The humility is a strength of science, not a weakness, right? Being able to accept that you don't understand some things and that there are just things you will never understand, like I will never understand rocket science or algebra or whatever, but like that that's fine. Like that's fine. Like you can never know everything, so it's like you shouldn't try to know everything. You should just try to learn what you can. And you resort to experts and their evidence, right? They've already proved all of this. Science says we don't know yet. You say it appeared, which is projection. Equivocation just appeared versus model expansion. Appeared implies randomness, chaos, or magic. Actual model equals predictive mathematical framework that explains expansion rate, Hubble constant, cooling history of the universe, and large-scale structure. The Big Bang didn't just appear, your misunderstanding did. The Big Bang says something came from nothing. No, it describes expansion of an initial state we can measure today. Scientists claim to know how it started. No, they model from Planck time forward, with humility about what came before. We don't know what came before that, but that doesn't mean you believe in a god, right? That's binary thinking. Like that's just like such binary, like absolutist thinking. It's vague or faith-based. No, it's data-driven, not speculative metaphysics. Metaphysics is speculative, science is not.
It just kind of appeared or something. Can you actually make sense of that? The answer is no.
Yeah, I just did.
Macro equals transitionary from one kind to another. Dinosaurs, monkeys. Unfortunately, the comment disappeared. Okay, so that's macroevolution. Microevolution is the smaller scale. All right. Yeah, I actually think that there is proof for macro scale evolution.
He didn't. So he doesn't know the difference between. He didn't know the difference between macro and micro scale evolution, like he was like claiming before, and now he's saying that there is. How would you know? Like you don't.
I mean, there's flying fish. There's fish that can breathe underwater and in water. There's the testudines, meaning like sea turtles.
This is like a complete
box
divergence.
Turtle, or let's say sea turtles, terrapins, box turtles, tortoises. So that's kind of like in the water turtles all the way to like the slow tortoises that move around on land.
Okay, so he's talking about evolution, but
I would say that's somewhat, and also tortoises are the most likely.
Yeah, he's just going off on a random tangent. He completely. He went in a circle. He went in another circle. So he's basically just describing, yeah, I believe in that. They're saying they're correcting him, and then he's just saying, "Oh yeah, that's correct. I like turtles." He's just basically like, "I like turtles." Like there's fish that can swim underwater, they can breathe air. I like turtles. That's basically his explanation is he likes
Evolution
turtles.
is the smaller scale. All right.
To the correction. It's like someone correcting you about gravity and you're being like, "Well, I like turtles."
Yeah, I actually think that there is proof for macro scale evolution. I mean, there's flying fish.
Yeah,
there's fish that can breathe underwater and box turtles. So that's kind of like in the water
So
turtles
he
all
does
the way.
believe in that. So
I
you
would say
believe
that's
in
somewhat,
evolution.
and also tortoises are the most likely species to have two heads. So I'm pretty sure that would be a transition into um, a macroevolutionary process, a being that's beginning to have two heads. You can look up two-headed tortoise. They're these species that where it occurs.
Okay,
Really debate the
none of this
highest
has to do
quality
with
atheist.
none of this has to do with religion. Like, none of this has to do with religion.
And actually make sense, and they have to make sense of it. And I will get all of them to acknowledge that they believe in the godless world that exists and takes some sort of structure and actually makes sense, and they have to make sense of it. World debate the highest quality atheists all at the same. Oh my God, I will literally debate more. That is what atheism is. Every atheist does not believe in a God.
Oh my God. Okay. Timestamp here. Get back on track.
Oh my God, I will literally.
It's 1702. And you'll get the same. You don't want to debate this guy. He's just going to go in circles the entire time and have you prove. So his idea of a debate is, I make all the claims, you prove everything. That's his idea of a debate. It's not a debate. That's just a one-sided argument. You do not want to debate people like this. You want to study them. You want to learn. You want to use them as source material and then learn from how stupid they are. That's what you want to do to people like this. You want to turn their stupidity and turn it into something actually intellectual and, you know, just better. Just sane, reasonable. All at the same time. All at the same time, and it'll go in circles.
Debate the highest quality atheists all at the same time on a stage at some stage, and
this is like delusions of grandeur. This is like high narcissism. This is real strong narcissism.
I will get all of them to acknowledge that they believe in the godless world that exists and takes some sort of structure and actually makes sense, and they have to make sense of it.
Right, okay. He's saying I will make these claims and just make people prove me wrong, basically. Kind of guy who'd tell me I believe the universe was made of nothing, then proceed to tell me the universe was void without form. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back on track. 1702. All right, I got more data on him. This is adversarial conflict. Adversarial conflict. Tribalist egoism. Narcissistic illusions of how do you spell grandeur? Oh, I spelled it right. Illusions of grandeur. Why does grandeur sound like it has a G in it? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Breakdown. Oh, I forgot. Let's see.
Debate the highest quality atheists all at the same time on a stage at some stage, and I will get all of them to acknowledge that they believe in the godless world that exists and takes some sort of structure and actually makes sense, and they have to make sense of it. So they believe in pretty much naturalism.
What is naturalism? I'm gonna have to make a note on naturalism now. Naturalism. Okay, let's go back. Where was I? Shoot, breakdown. Okay. This statement is not an argument, it is an appeal to conflict. It signals tribalism, ego, and emotional hostility, rather than presenting reason, critique, or evidence. Ad hominem framing treats atheists as targets. Get implies conquest, humiliation, or takedown, not engagement or dialogue. It shifts focus from the truth of claims to the identity of opponents. This is not debate, it is a persona performance. Using atheists as rhetorical props. Reducing atheists to enemies is a way to dodge their arguments by dehumanizing us. It's us versus them tribalism. It creates an artificial binary. Believers equals good, enlightened, worthy of defense. Atheist equals bad, stupid, fair game for attack. This undermines intellectual discourse by turning it into team sports. Truth isn't a team, it is a process. I will get all the atheists is not strength, it's preemptive defensiveness. When someone relies on conquest metaphors instead of arguments, it often signals lack of depth in their position. Very simple. You don't need to get people when your reasoning stands on its own, right? If you're right, then you make sense. And if you make sense, then like it stands on its own. Like so it's a strong claim. No, it's a rhetorical tantrum. Myth. It proves atheists are wrong. No, it shows unwillingness to engage intellectually. It strengthens his position. No, it reveals hostility and logical deflection. I'm going to turn him into like a whole case study, don't worry.
Let's see.
Naturalism. Let's go into naturalism.
So they believe in pretty much naturalism.
Naturalism is a philosophical perspective that holds that only natural laws and forces, those discoverable through science and observation, operate in the universe, rejecting the existence of supernatural entities like God's spirits or miracles. There's there's ontological naturalism, and then there's methodological naturalism. The approach of using scientific methods and empirical evidence as the primary means of acquiring knowledge without assuming the truth of metaphysical naturalism. Naturalism underpins modern science, asserting that all phenomena, including the human behavior, consciousness, and morality, can be explained through natural causes and processes. Sounds more like rationalism. Naturalism isn't a universal atheist belief. Test this.
Naturalism.
I need to get it a little bit shorter.
So they believe, and they have to make sense of it.
Right there. Timestamp. Cut. Paste.
So they believe in pretty much naturalism. Let's see. That's why we can say it's probably not
true, right? Everything's built on plausibility, plausible deniability. So he says he doesn't use anything concise, like he doesn't use anything certain. Like there is no certainty in anything he says, so that he can, when someone corrects him, he can just say, "Oh yeah, that's true," and then and just avoid the topic completely. That's what he's doing. So he's building a bridge on plausible deniability. That's exactly what he's doing. So everything is on maybes, probablys, what ifs, and then anytime someone corrects him, he's just like, "Okay, yeah, you're correct," and it's like, "But you're wrong. Like you're just glossing over it," and then he just keeps doing that over and over again. That's his methodology. Okay, 1718. They believe in pretty much naturalism. The belief that everything arises from natural properties and causes and supernatural explanations are excluded or unnecessary. While many atheists align with methodological or philosophical naturalism, goddamn, I'm stoned, it is not inherent to atheism, nor is it universal. False generalizations. Not all atheists are naturalists. Atheism is a lack of belief in gods. Naturalism is a broader metaphysical framework. One can be an atheist without committing to naturalism, e.g., skeptic, agnostics, or a naturalist who is not strictly atheist, e.g., deist or pantheist. Atheism is about one claim. Naturalism is about a world view. Conflating them erases nuance. It simplifies. What was I saying? Oversimplifying something complex, you get something that is incoherent. Methodological naturalism used in science assumes natural causes to build predictive models. Philosophical naturalism asserts nature is all there, a metaphysical stance. Many skeptics adopt methodological naturalism without claiming certainty about metaphysical absolutes. Using natural methods to understand reality doesn't mean one denies all possibility of the supernatural. So false equivalence or whatever. The statement draws an imaginary line. They believe in naturalism, I believe in God, as if each is an equally dogmatic camp. In truth, naturalism is an inference from what works, not a faith-based commitment. Excuse me. It's adopted because no supernatural explanation has ever been demonstrated to perform a natural one. People don't believe in naturalism like religion, they adopt it because it works. It's like confusing theology with ethics, right? So, or morality. So, you don't get morality from religion, you get morality from ethics, right? You get it from an ethical framework. That's how it's the tool. Like, the framework is the scale that weighs whether something is moral or immoral. And You're saying that, like, it's like saying that religion is ethics, or that religion is ethical, or that religion teaches morality, when if anything religion teaches about what morality isn't. So it's like a false dichotomy equivalence. Atheists believe in naturalism. Some do, some don't. It's not required. Naturalism is just another belief. No, it's a methodological stance grounded in consistent results. It's a system of measurements. It's a system you use to measure data. Rejecting supernatural dogma. No, it's provisional skepticism, not blind faith. Provisional skepticism. I like that. Provisional skepticism. I might have to take a break soon. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming like over an hour, and I'm only in, what, 17 minutes? I got all this off of him. God, I love Obsidian. Oh, Obsidian's amazing.
So they believe in pretty much naturalism. Let's see. That's why we can say it's probably not true.
See, probably not true.
Not Christianity. The thing is, if God actually real, you would literally be sent to hell because of horrible things you are. I'm not a Christian. This moron keeps commenting as if I'm a Christian. We believe what we have evidence for. Well, to an extent, but not really, not entirely. Like, you believe in time, and you don't actually have that much evidence for time in a physical sense. Your idea of the space.
Oh my god, now he's getting into time. Deep metaphysics. Oh my god, metaphysical
Time continuum
cuck.
evidence for you believe in an extent, but not really. Well,
Okay, let's see. Actually, I'd be better going from down here. I need to add more fucking columns and shit. There we go. Alright, so let's see, 1750.
to an extent, but not. We believe what we have.
Timestamp. This is how I research anything.
Evidence for. Well, to an extent, but not really. Not entirely. Like, you believe in time, and you don't actually have that much evidence for time in.
So I have a lighter here, a physical thing. If I drop this, time dictates that it will fall with gravity. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god, time does
in a physical
exist!
sense. Your
Like,
idea of the space-time
what?
continuum is very strange from my perspective. Based on
What? He's going into space time. He didn't even say anything about space. No one said anything. Okay. Did I spell that right? Dichotomy. Did I spell that right? Dichotomy? Yeah, I did. 1746. We'll tap back over here. 1746. 1746. Time is one of the most measurable and modeled dimensions in physics. It is not a philosophical abstraction. It has observable effects, defined units, and mathematical representation in the fundamental laws of the universe, such as gravity and time. So, if time didn't exist, this lighter would not fall because we'd be a still image. So, this is a measurement. This is a form of measurement of time. The lighter falling. It took like a second to fall. It didn't suspend in midair. Time is one of the most, yeah, so it's philosophical. False premises. You don't have much evidence for time. So, what about atomic clocks? What about atomic clocks? What about relativity and thermodynamics? What about observable via effects, aging, entropy, and causality? Yeah, what about entropy? Like, you want to talk about entropy, this guy is literal entropy. This guy is intellectual entropy. We observe time's passage and effects in everything from radioactive decay to satellite synchronization. We don't just believe in time, we build GPS systems that literally fail without relativistic time correction. Equivocation fallacy. Conflates conceptual versus empirical time. Philosophers sometimes debate the nature of time. Is it an illusion, emergent? But that doesn't mean that time is unsupported. It means our interpretation evolves. Saying you don't have evidence for time equivocates conceptual clarity with empirical denial. So denial of reality. It's literal denial of reality. So, denial of reality. This is a crazy person. Hypothetically. Supposedly. Probably. It's probably a crazy person. Uncertainty about what time is doesn't mean time isn't real. This is... So he commits the same thing again. I don't understand it, therefore it's narcissistic realism. I don't understand it, I believe, therefore it is. It's deflection masquerading as depth. Time isn't supported by evidence. False. It's measurable, testable, and model validated. Atheists claim to believe in evidence, but time is weak. No, time is one of the best measured dimensions in science. Time is just a belief. No, it's functional predictive structure in physics. Without time, we don't exist. So this guy gets into solipsism a lot. Like, I think he has like an existence crisis. Like, he doesn't entirely believe he's real, and he believes that what's real is what he believes. So reality conforms to what he believes in his world. So everything is like in his world. It's a very narcissistic realism. It's very high level narcissism. Very high level narcissism.
My paradigm, my worldview, your understanding of time is very weird. The space-time continuum, if you look up space-time continuum or space-time, you'll probably see pictures of like Earth on like some sort of fabric, like a
So again, he thinks that because it's not visible, because it's not corporeal, he doesn't even have the words to explain this, by the way. He doesn't have the vocabulary to explain what he's actually thinking and believes. Like, he doesn't have the vocabulary to define what it is he believes. Like, that's how crazy this person is. Probably, hypothetically, possibly. So, air. I can't see air. Oh my god, I can't breathe because I can't see air. Oh my god, I'm suffocating because I can't see air. Like, that's how crazy these statements are. That's how absolutely batshit this person probably is.
trampoline fabric or something. They make it seem as though space-time is like out there, and it's also like some sort of trampoline fabric. But if space-time exists as like
That's just a representation of what it would look like.
a fabric, that would mean that it has to be everywhere, literally everywhere.
You mean like air? You mean like air can? There's air in this room everywhere. So there's not air in my room anywhere because it would be everywhere. And I would see it. Like,
it's at your eyes right now when
nonsensical.
you blink, because that takes time to occur.
Yeah, that's a measurement of time. That's a measurement of time. Blinking your eye is a measurement of time.
So space-time would have to be at your eyes when you blink. Space-time would have to be around your blood cells as they circulate around your body. Space-time would have...
Yeah, he confuses and conflates corporeality with physicality. He doesn't know the difference between physicality and corporality.
to be in your mind as you decide to accept or reject this idea. And space-time would have to be around every single atom as the the electron kind of moves around the nucleus. So space-time literally has to be everywhere. And in my worldview, time is everything. So in your worldview, it's almost as if time is around everything, and time is like the...
So you don't have that much evidence for time, then time is everything in your worldview. You cannot simultaneously argue that something is poorly evidenced and then assert it is the foundation of someone else's worldview without invalidating your own objection. If time is everything, then it should be treated with serious epistemic weight, not mocked as speculative or insufficient. It's self-defeating framing. You can't say time is weakly evidenced and call it the other person's foundation unless you provide a better replacement. If time is meaningless, then cause, motion, thought, change, memory, speech all collapse. If time is everything to me and you just said time is baseless, then your argument exists in no coherent framework either. Time isn't a belief, it's a coordinate of change. It's not accepted as a worldview pillar, but as a dimension used to organize experience and physics. No physicist says time is my worldview. It's a structure we model reality through, and it works. The speaker projects time into worldview to dismiss it, but provides no coherent alternative. Does his God world contain time, or is it outside of time? How can everything be time itself and exist outside of time? This goes right back into the metaphysical demiurge. Like, if the demiurge created like the material world and everything, then who created the demiurge? The pleroma. Well, then who invented the pleroma? Who invented God? Like, what came before God, right? It gets into that again. It's category collapse. It redefines all of existence, matter, energy, causality, identity, as time without explaining what time even is. So he's avoiding explaining what it is. Oh, it's everything. Everything is time. What does that mean? You can't. It's a category collapse. Time is not everything. Time is a dimension, not a substance, force, or being. Saying everything is time erases the distinctions between what exists, ontology, how things change, temporal dynamics, how we measure that change, units of time. This makes the claim empty. If everything is time, then time explains nothing. Calling everything time is like calling every note in a symphony rhythm. It flattens reality into nonsense. He doesn't define what is time means, whether time is causal, material, informational, or divine. Without an operational model, everything is time is a poetic slogan, not a worldview. If time is everything, then what is anything? Where does difference arise? Where do structure and logic go? Earlier he said you don't have much evidence for time, but then he says everything is time. This is a self-imploding contradiction. He argues against his own point. If time lacks evidence and everything is time, then his own worldview lacks evidence by definition. You can't simultaneously reject time as unproven and build your entire worldview out of it. Everything is time makes no testable predictions. It cannot be verified, refuted, or applied to observable phenomenon. Therefore, it fails both scientifically and philosophical standards of coherence. It's not a worldview, it's a world spiral. So, time is a dimension used to measure change. He explains nothing because it reduces all distinctions to one undefined term, and it's conceptual erasure, not metaphysical depth. Right? It's incoherence. What he's saying is incoherent. It's like the ramblings of probably a madman that believes in eugenics, which would make him ideologically a Nazi. One doesn't simply believe in eugenics without being a Nazi. That's just like a definitional factor, an ontological factor. Back. Hear my bones pop. Like a human crinkle bottle. Okay, now that we get that out of the way.
Ocean moving around the sand matter. In my worldview, time is everything. So all of this is information, like a simulation.
Like a simulation. What was I saying before? Simulation, it's simulation, it's new age simulation bullshit. Okay, I had that in my project note. Where the fuck was that? So here's my canvas. Let's see. Where was it? This has been going on for so long, my brain feels fried. I need to play a game or something.
So this is sand, the sand matter, and time is everything. So in your worldview, it's almost as if time is around everything, and time is like the ocean moving around the sand matter. In my worldview,
That's a completely, like, stupid, simplistic, like, way of saying it. Anyways, this goes into, like, simulation new age bullshit. I can't remember what note I had that in. Let's see, I have so many notes now. Is it solipsism? I didn't fill out solipsism or panpsychism. I got the Big Bang. Yeah, so I got a little sidetracked. So he's assigning mind to the universe, which is anthropomorphism. So he says he's for panentheism, but he's actually for anthropomorphism, not logic. He's not a logical person. He can't be reasoned with. People like this cannot be reasoned with. All you can do is study them.
time is everything. So all of this is information like a simulation.
Like a simulation, yeah. That goes into the whole demiurge. Where was it? Where did I have the demiurge shit at? Yeah, he doesn't understand the difference between invisible forces and corporeal. Yeah. This conflation rests on semantic manipulation, equating invisible with immaterial or imaginary or non-existent, just like air. This goes right back into what I was saying before. Like it saying something doesn't exist because it's invisible is saying that air doesn't exist, right? It's saying that gravity doesn't exist, despite the fact that there are many real measurable phenomena that are invisible to the human eye, like radiation. Countless scientifically confirmed entities are invisible: air, gas molecules, radiation, UV, gamma, X-rays, electrons, neutrinos, gravity. Those are not faith-based or speculative. They are empirically inferred through interaction and measurement. Invisibility to your eye is not invisibility to instrumentation. Invisible doesn't mean non-existent. He uses invisible to mock physical phenomenon as if invisibility applies non-physicality. This is false. X-rays are invisible but corporeal. They interact with matter. Sound waves are invisible but propagate through physical media. The distinction between corporeal, interacts with matter, and visible, detectable by sight, is crucial, and his rhetoric collapses that. You're treating invisible like a synonym for imaginary, but physics treats it as a spectrum of detectability. He invokes time as everything, metaphysical mastermind, consciousness as fundamental, all of which are conceptually invisible, unmeasured, and unfalsifiable. Yet he mocks others for believing in invisible particles that are actually testable. If you're against invisibles, you just deleted your entire worldview. So, yeah, he doesn't even know the difference between corporeal and invisible. The only thing he's convinced me of is that he's a stupid person. That's the only thing he's convinced me of. He can't convince anyone of anything. He can't even convince someone that he's real. Anyways, I'm gonna cut off with that for now. I'll come back with like part 2 later or something. I'm getting kind of brain fried from this. So where did I leave off? Left off at 1746.
Have evidence for, well, to an extent, but not really, not entirely. Like, you believe.
Yeah, this person is crazy. Anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll have more